I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm a gamer. As gamery as gamers get. I'm so gamer that I like boy no no, jokes aside. Today I'm talking about the latest game I played, which is no longer the latest game I played, but I mean I do have a pretty big backlog of topics, and today I'm talking about Metroid Prime. Because Metroid Prime is a weird game that I played. Now, I played the remaster trilogy, just the remaster of the first one. I was told that I shouldn't play the others. Not because they're bad, but because I am clearly not the type of person who is very good at roguelike. So, at Metroidvania. So, it's Metroid Prime, classical Metroidvania. Probably one of the first 3D Metroidvanias. And you can kind of tell when it comes to like the game design and the way the game's done. It kind of sucks that the game has no fast travel, but the game map is so small that if the game had fast travel, you'd realize something's off. And that's basically what I feel about the game. I feel like the game was really good, but it does have a few limits. Characteristically, the fact that it's clearly designed for the old folks, for the old consoles. Now, do I think that makes it bad? Not at all. I think it's just generally a great story. It was generally a great game, and I'm not even lying. I really kind of enjoyed a lot of it. I also really disliked a lot of it. One of the things that's really weird about it is because it's a Metroidvania, right? And the thing about Metroidvanias is that, like, you are supposed to constantly be backtracking through areas. So I do find it kind of funny and silly in a way that, like, my experience with it does involve a certain extent of uh just feeling like I'm backtracking. It doesn't feel quite right? It doesn't feel like you're not backtracking. It doesn't feel like you're exploring the map or going to places or this or that. It just feels like you're walking in a straight line, ignoring all enemies for hours. And I know it's just supposed to. Why they need food. I know it's just supposed to be the standard things you do in a roguelike, in a Metroidvania. I don't know why I'm confusing the terms. Just go with it. But it does come off just a tad bit weird. Where's my meat? I had more meat than this. Did I? Am I running out of meat? I gotta make more meat, I guess. Oh well. I guess that's just yet another sign that I need to do stuff. Actually, it's not in my bundles, right? No. I should take this too. Yeah, so I have all the food that I plan to use while I build this trading center. It's gonna be temporary, but I still want it to be somewhat pretty. So it's really hard to like remember everything I thought about the game, but it definitely felt a few things right. Like I knew traversal was kind of annoying. I felt like the game should have had a few certain situations where traversal was gonna be more important. Just I think a way to fast travel or whatnot was kind of necessary, but at the same time, I understand that the game map is so tiny that it's not really worth it. I didn't quite love the fact that you can miss scans, but at the same time, I think that's just there to incentivize people who really like the game into replaying it. It's a GameCube era game. And by the way, the remaster that they did for it was absolutely fantastic. Genuinely a beautiful and incredible remaster of just everything. Like I genuinely think they did a fantastic 10 out of 10 job with the remaster. with the remaster, at least of all the bits I saw. I didn't see everything. I couldn't see everything because, well, I mean, you know, it does take quite some time to get through the game. And getting through like a playthrough of it, I don't know, man. I don't have infinite time. Now, hold on. I want to design a little place for my villagers to be in. And I think I'm just gonna do it out of this like out of this palette this year. Actually, I might use full glass blocks instead. So let's see. How are my entrances going to look? I do know. I mean, I think I need to limit, like, point out the area in which I want to do Villager City. I do want it to extend from the this here, but I don't want it to get too close to that. So allow me to like make a temporary border, just really to kind of know the scope of the build. And here you start arcing it back. Nice little tree at the outskirts of what would be the city. All right, and I think the city is just gonna extend all the way to the back. And then I wanna kind of I want to avoid touching much of the shore. I may touch it just for flair, but I want the city to taper off around here. It's gonna be a pretty big build, all things considered, and I don't know how if I'll actually do it. So, well, at least having this little reference kind of gives me a good idea of the area where I'm gonna do the thing. And this is probably gonna be the city square. Like, I'm probably gonna put some sort of fountain here. So I guess I should do it like that. And go to bed and eat something because my buddy is hungry in the game. I think the way that you should be able to solve the problem I had with the game is just by making walking around in the game more fun. Walking around in Metroid Prime wasn't really fun, which is kind of weird considering how fun it actually was to like explore and everything, because they did do the whole Metroidvania aspect properly. The whole thing where you slowly get more upgrades and whatnot. There are some temporary upgrades that felt kind of repetitive. Like it did early on, especially. It felt like I was doing super cool puzzles, and then I was like, yay, I'm doing the super cool puzzle. And the only thing that I actually got out of the super duper puzzle was, you got 5 more missiles. It also feels like a lot of your arsenal is kind of useless. Just mostly waiting on missiles. Nope. I should follow the leitmotif for the area by doing it. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Maybe tuck, 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 tuck. Here goes the villager. Here goes the workstation. What kind of workstation do I want to do? Now that I think about it, I gotta make some workstations. So I need to do like fletching tables. And I need to do furnaces. I need to do furnaces. I need cobblestone. Crazy that I live in the universe where I need cobblestone. And I am gonna get it from this cave down here. Because I'm amazing. Actually, I shouldn't get too close this way. We don't want the iron golems to spawn down below and harm the like speed of the farm. I think huge should be fine. Right, that should be quite a bit of cobblestone. Yes. But at the same time, when it comes to like the rest of the game, the stuff that would probably actually matter. Oh man, hold on. I think they did a great job. They really were able to translate the feeling of a Metroid game into 3D. And this is me saying it as someone who's only played like the original and a few others. Is this how you make a? Nope. I don't know how to make a blast furnace. Blast iron. All right. Guess what? I have a lot of iron. I don't even know how much I have here. Okay, that's a lot of iron. And 31 rotten flesh. Wow, amazing. Eh. I probably should do the auto crafter thing that I said I was gonna do here. Oops. I'll put that in the to-do list, I guess. But for the most part, yeah, I really enjoyed the game. It was a little bit weird. I don't think it was like my favorite game to have done. I think for now I'll just rock with 3. For now I'll just do 3, and then if I need more, I'll do more. Now let me continue my plans. So here goes the workstation. So now I kind of want to like surround this with glass. Here would go a trapdoor. What's the best way to place this trapdoor? Oh, I guess the best way to do it would be actually put it on top of the workstation. So we're gonna have a workstation, we're gonna have this, and then flip it, and the villager is safe and sound. And on that matter, give me the slabs. Over top, just be able to put some slabs. Like this? Does this look good? Does this look modern? Maybe I go for a cross instead. Since this is glass, I don't think mobs can spawn on top of here. See, I think for now, this is gonna be like a little house for the villagers to live in momentarily as we sort of build up the city. And then later, eventually, I'll try to relocate them back into actual places. So cool. Now we just repeat this pattern a bunch of times while I talk about Metroid. But is there that much else to say about Metroid? Man, I don't really think there is. Like, I guess there is to some extent, but not really. I guess I could talk about like each design of parts. I don't really love the fact that you can tell it's an old game. It's doing that thing where your penalty for losing in the game is just wasting your time and having you redo a long part of the game where you essentially did nothing. So it's a little bit of a weird situation, but it's one of those things that you can't sort of forgive because the game's based off an old product, right? It's based off an old something. So it would be kind of annoying for you to just start being pedantic about it. Sure, it's not the best game design, but I don't think I can blame the game too much considering the era it came out and whatnot. Even then, I don't think it's like a thing that's so bad it's destructive upon the game's design. It's just, it's fine. It's okay. On that, hold that thought. I also need to figure out how to do fletching tables. How do you do fletch? You need flint? You need flint and steel? Wait, where does one get flint in the modern day and age, huh? Where does one get flint in the modern day and age? When does one get flint in the modern day and age? There's gotta be some around here. There, see? I liked Metroid. It was a good game. Oh, yeah, yeah, that's another thing I felt. I hated the enemies. I hated the fact that it genuinely felt like I couldn't avoid the enemies a lot of the times. They would just hit you because they have super good weapons and shit. And I could forever get angry about that, but you know what? I'm not even gonna get angry about that. I'm just gonna assume it sucks, or that I suck, actually. I think the game really rewards being really aggressive and just killing everything the millisecond you see it. Hold on. Put it there. Flint. My cat's called Flint, so I imagine that whenever I'm collecting Flint in this game, he just starts freaking out because he just starts hearing me calling him. He doesn't generally show up. Generally just say, Flynn, you're so cute. And he goes, meow, because he's real cute like that. Why am I talking about my cat? We were talking about Metroid. But yeah, just a pretty good game. I was surprised at how long it took me to beat it. All things considered, I think it took me like 35 hours. Which is kind of crazy because I'm pretty sure that if you know the game, it would take you 12 hours. But I think a lot of that is, again, what I said about the whole, if you lose in the game, you are just getting your time wasted. That's the way it was designed. It was designed to waste your super waste your time. It's a thing that old games used to do. I don't like it. I think it sucks ass. But how much can I really just be complaining? I guess quite a bit, right? Still, to me, I think it's just fine. So yeah, maybe it's not a game that's gonna stick in my mind forevermore, and I'm gonna remember it fondly for years. But I definitely think it was good that I played it, especially consider now that Prime 4 came out and people were expecting something really good. I do wonder what kind of stuff they were expecting, considering what this game shows, which is primarily the fact that Metroidvanias just work better in 2D. I know, kind of crazy. And I imagine there's exceptions to the rule. I imagine there's Metroidvanias in 3D that work fantastically. Because there's always exceptions to every rule. People just know how to do shit a lot of the times. Uh, they get good, they learn how to do it. It's the way industries work, and it's the way gaming works, really. People just eventually learn to do the things. And I do imagine that someone at some point has figured out how to make a 3D Metroidvania that's better than this one. But maybe it's not framed the same way. Like, for example, I'd argue a lot of games such as, what's the name of the game? The game where you have to climb a mountain as a little bird fella. A Short Hike. You could argue A Short Hike does have Metroidvania elements in its design. Okay, so we're doing 3 and 3, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna need another one. Am I gonna need another one? I probably should. Yeah. Let's do a little bit of this. And then maybe I'll put my villagers for trading somewhere else. Maybe around this edge of the city. The city's probably gonna, like, encompass this area, and that's it. Maybe I should just flatten this little hill. Yeah, yeah. Let's flatten this little hill, and here's where I'll build the rest of the settlement. It's gonna take a bit longer to get him here, but I think it's gonna be more pleasing to have the sort of space that it would take for me to visit my entire villager district. There's gonna be a little city, and I want to do little, like, houses of different sizes and heights. So important that I do it somewhat right. And I ran out of dirt. I do think I will need to flatten this a lot more, just out of aesthetic purpose. Wait, what do I have in my inventory? An egg? An egg? Hold on. Egg! I'd argue games like A Short Hike have those Metroidvania elements that it seems like, aren't all that here with Metroid Prime. And I feel like that's probably just because it's designed that way. So this will be one villager, two villager, three villager, four villager, five villager, six villager. I think this is gonna be the size of our temporary trading district. And this is all gonna be people with enchantments, in case you're wondering. Should I do the corners of the blocks? I think I shouldn't. I think the corners of the blocks should be like this. Like the back corners. Maybe to save on some glass. But I feel like it does give it some personality, doesn't it? And that would be 2-2. I hear the cat going meow. And I don't know where they are. Point is, I enjoyed Metroid. It was a good game. I did in fact do the true ending. I fully completed it. In the sense that I did kill Metroid Prime, which is the final boss of the game. The Metroid Prime, so... Alright, and I said not on the corners. So yeah, generally good game. I do want to continue building this trading hall. But I think we're going to have to pause it until, next video. Which is, for me, it's not to be recorded until next week. So, anyways, yeah. Generally positive thoughts about Metroid Prime. I liked the game. I liked everything it has to say. I liked a lot of what it did. There was some stuff I didn't like, especially the things that are kind of tied to the idea that it's an old game. Good game. Good game. Bye.